In the current arc, it currently seems as if we're preparing to leave Egghead in order to save Vegapunk from Kizaru, the Seraphims probably, Rob Lucci, and the rest of CP0. From the beginning of the arc, the tension overall has risen through Vega's knowledge and lore that ties into the future, past, and present. But just like in Enies Lobby, gaining that knowledge results in a familiar obstacle in the form of the world government's wrath. These villains share a history with the Straw Hats that doesn't really reflect the current strength of the Straw Hats right now in the present. Before the Full Yoko Saga, we've seen plenty of times where the Straw Hats had to flee from the Marines because they weren't strong enough. But post-time skill, Luffy and the Straw Hats actually have the power to fight back against it. We've seen a post-Dressrosa where Luffy actually doesn't run away and he's prepared to actually fight Fujitora. I feel like for the first time in the story, it'll be the opposite. The Straw Hats won't run from the Marines this time, and the Straw Hats will actually beat the Marines into realization that they can't do this. It'll take more resources, Marines, and reinforcements to actually beat them. Emperors are supposed to be the world powers and threats of their own. They themselves are the opposing threats to the biggest powers, which is the world government, thus giving them the title as an emperor. Wouldn't it seem better and smarter the story if actually the Marines didn't chase away the newly dubbed Straw Hat Emperors away from Egghead with Vegapunk? They're the emperors now. That can't happen. That shouldn't happen. It should be the opposite. The Marines are now in the New World, and that should actually be Luffy's territory along with Wano. I feel like that's actually going to happen later on in the story. Rob Lucci apparently has CTE. It's kind of crazy. Like this is awakening stuff. It's like, what's going on up there? Well, think.
Turn this on. Turn it on.
I'm like, what's happening? Like he's got CTE. That's the only explanation. Rob Lucci, he needs help. I feel like Rob Lucci declaring that he can't recognize Luffy as an emperor has to be Chekhov's gun for him to realize that he is an emperor and for him to actually get his ass whooped again. Like it's going to be some SmackDown vs. Raw 2008 PSP action where you get to stack up tables and ladders and 3 of them at the same time. Oh man, that used to be so fun. Luffy has already declared that he will take him off the island, which scares me. I feel like them standing tall and actually beating away the Marines into submission will be actually better for the story. Like they're emperors now. You have to get that respect. Warships shouldn't be that much of a deterrent for the Thousand Sunny. It could just fly away, but I feel like Oda can't just keep doing that. So since it is Kizaru calling in a whole bunch of warships, I feel like the warships will actually be like warships surrounding Impel Down. It'll be warships where it'll be inescapable, just like warships as far as the eyes can see.